Okay, let's get started. So today's agenda is we're going to remake an old Scorpion Engine Parallax demo completely from scratch. The reason why we're making it from scratch is because the old demo isn't compatible with Scorpion anymore, so it largely needs to be recreated from scratch anyway. But on top of that, it's an opportunity to go through the process of making a project from scratch and then setting up a level, setting up a parallax. So let's get stuck into it. All right. So I've got 3 files to work from, and I've just got them in my stream folder. So the first is this environment snowy mountains. So that's the whole of the map. And because we've got a PNG, we can generate the map from PNG. So we'll start from that. So let's grab that. Let's grab the file, and I'll make a folder here for my map stuff, and I'll just call it map 1. So there we go. We've got a map. We've got a tile set. So let's generate a tile set from that map. Let's start it up. Let's run it, load it, and see what it looks like. So we just created a line in our startup code block that all we're doing is category is level, load level, map 1. So it's nice and easy. Good evening, Mixels. Welcome to the chat. Okay, so we see we've got a problem there, which is essentially the display resolution is too big. So we've got that ugly red border at the top. So we need to get rid of that, and to do that, we just need to work out, well, how big is our level actually, and just make sure that our resolution isn't any larger than that. We could make it smaller if we wanted to scroll up and down, but there's no real reason to do that. We'll just make it the exact height of the level. So, yep. So height is 192. So that's fairly narrow. So that would work quite well on an NTSC display, even if we have like a small panel underneath it. So we're going to go set our Y resolution. So 224 is the default Y resolution. We can go up to 256, but we'll go down to 192. The reason why 224 is the default is it's so that Scorpion's default resolution is the same as the Super Nintendo. So it's a little bit arbitrary, but why not? All right, so we've got this level. Be good if we could look around it, but I'm not going to make any. I'm not going to make any actors for this project. I just want to make a parallax demo, and so what can we do? Well, I'm gonna make a code block. So code blocks are files that contain our instructions and variables for all of the logic. They're essentially the same as functions in other languages. So I'm going to call this camera scroll right. And I'm just going to add I'm just going to go display. And then I am going to go camera position, and I'll just do a quick formula, which is camera x plus 1. So that's just going to make it move to the right. And then I'm going to add that to the levels on timer. So that's just going to run every frame. That might be too fast, so we might need to slow it down, but we'll just see what it looks like at the moment. Yeah, I think default speed of 1 should be all right. That should look quite good when we've actually got our parallax background in. Now I should note that all of these graphics come from were supplied by BitBeamCannon, who have been a huge help with the Scorpion project, especially with their sponsorship of a lot of the recent features that have gone into Scorpion, especially ones for making it easier for developers to create games. But anyway, you see that we can see the graphics, but the palette looks quite off, and that's because Scorpion has a default palette, the Indesca 32 palette, which is actually pretty good for quite a wide variety of games. It's quite a nice, well balanced palette, but it's not the exact palette for this game, so it doesn't quite work. So what I will do is, let's. So going back to Paintshop Pro, I'm just going to make sure that we don't have a transparent there. And I'm going to merge that down. And then how many colors do we have? Should be... Okay, so I thought there'd be less than 16, which there are. I'm going to go decrease to 256 mode. And yep, so that's less than 16 colors. Though I will want to rearrange the palette a bit. But I'm just going to save that as... I'm going to override our Indesca palette. And then if we go back to the game, we see it's like this. I'm going to make one change. Is I'm going to move that blue from the background. Put that there. Whoops. Oh, that was weird. Never mind. I will. I just need to get that hex value. 0, 0, 10, 42. 0, 0, 10, 42. There we go. All right. Well, so if we run it now, the palette should look a lot better. Oh, and just to be clear, the reason why we've got black in the top left corner is because but yeah, basically it's more efficient when we've got black. It doesn't need to generate as many copper list instructions to change the color to black when it hits the background border. So I usually recommend having black as the very first color in the palette, and we can do that here because that whole terrain is only about 12 colors, so we've got more than enough to spare, and we can make it down to 16 color mode to save a bit of memory. Even though I've put it down to 16 colors, you might notice I've still got 32 colors in the palette, and that's because we can use these upper 16 colors for sprites and for our fancy parallax. So, now I've got two files for parallax that I'm going to sort of merge. I might need to double check them. I'm not totally sure that that they're going to work. because I haven't used those source files for quite a while. Oh, I do. If you're in the chat, do let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Sometimes when I go on, I have some problems with microphone. Hi, Inbound Dreams. Thank you for letting me know. Anyway, so actually, I probably before I actually do the import, I should show you what our Parallax source file looks like. So this should be a maximum of 4 colors on any one line, and we basically see here we've got our split between our background and our our foreground down there, and then our background up there. And the reason why it's 32 pixels wide is because our Parallax system uses a repeating 32 pixel pattern. That's so that so we're fairly economical with memory, but also we're only using 2 out of 8 sprites for the entire Parallax. So the reason why it comes up with this is and I'll go into this a bit more later. It's asking basically for our animation, for our Parallax animation, how many pixels do we want to move it over every frame? So leaving it at 1 is the exact right thing to do, but today I'll give you some examples of where you can have it set to a value other than 1. Okay, so I'm going to call this sprite BG middle, and I'll go into why I've called it middle later on. But now that I've generated it, I can set our. Oh, it didn't come up with an error, so that's a good sign. Sometimes it'll come up with an error if there happens to be more colors on one line. So we're going to set our parallax to, should be under map, and then we've got our sprite PG middle parallax. And let's edit it. And I'll do a bit of tidying up here because it's a little bit of a mess. Yeah, so what we've got is I'm going to make the grid 32 pixels wide. So what we've got here is basically each of these slices is a different frame in the animation. So, for example, we're not going to have a repeating moon, but you can see what it's generated is on each slice the moon moves over by 1 pixel, and by the end it's completely wrapped around. Okay, so I'm going to do a bit of tidy up here. Scorpion sometimes isn't very good with working out, well, what colors should go in which slot. So to make our copper list as small and as tidy as possible, we want to have as few color changes as possible. So what I'm going to do is so that line is going to be that color, and then this line is just going to be that color. Yep. Hey, sorry, this is a bit Paint Shop Pro can be pretty clunky when doing pixely stuff. I'll try not to spend too long on this. Yeah. Okay, I should stop. Let me just double check some of that. I think I made some mistakes here. I did make some mistakes, so I'll undo a bit of that. One thing that's really important is that if there's only one color on a line, that we have the background color as that line. So you see there, for example. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully I won't mess anything up too badly. Let's grab all of that. Oh, hello, BitBeamCannon. Right. So yeah, I won't spend too much time on this, but I'll just do some really quick tidy ups, just to reduce. Yeah, just to reduce it a little bit, or reduce the redundant copper instructions a little bit. Wait, how many colors have we got? Oh, I see. Okay. I might need to be just a bit careful with. So that is actually a. That is actually a brighter blue. Blue there. I'll try not to spend more than a couple more minutes on this. Okay, so I'll fill that one in with that color. In fact, I should do that whole block. Hello, Frozenwell. Now which one was? Oh, I didn't. Did I get rid of? Oh no, that color there is the one that I don't have on the palette yet, or don't have in this part of the palette. Actually, I might just leave it there for now because. Well, yeah. So one thing, it is fairly time consuming, and also I've shown this is how we should optimize a palette to have as few color changes as possible. We try to have each lane as contiguous as possible, except when there's only one. If there's only one, then and you only have one color in the whole line, instead of generating a sprite, it's just going to set the background color. So that's a way of saving a bit more memory, a bit more copper, and a bit more performance with fewer less DMA usage. But anyway, so I'll leave that there for now, and let's just see what it looks like in game. So it's probably going to look quite weird because we're going to have a repeating moon and yeah. I think that's why I shouldn't have messed with the background parallax, because you can sort of see I've broken that cloud there. So uh, I'm just going to redo the parallax. Well, I'm just going to regenerate the parallax. It doesn't matter too much if it's suboptimal, but just keep in mind if you want to get the smallest possible copper list when using a background parallax, it's worth doing that process. Just do it more carefully than I did because I was a little bit clumsy. Oh, I want to generate parallax 52 wide. So let's grab that again, leave that at 1, and I'm just going to override the right that. Let's see what the original one looked like in game. That's better. So the cloud layer doesn't have that weird whiteness to it. So that is all right. But there's some obvious issues. So, in particular, we've got the multiple moons. We've got the spikes are supposed to be in the foreground, so we'll fix both of those issues. So we've got to edit our parallax data here. So that just opens a spreadsheet. I was going to look at making this part of the editor, but it is fairly straight. Well, there's a lot of things to edit, and also having it in a spreadsheet makes it easy to copy one line into the next line. I usually don't have anything on slice line 0 because there's a few other copper instructions that take place on their very first line. So let's put our first slice down 1 pixel, which is the start of the moon anyway. And so I'm going to go 1. And I'm going to change isCloud to true. So isCloud is a way of saying that we don't want this part of the parallax to repeat. We just want it once. So instead of the moon multiple times, it's just there once. Then if we go down to our next layer, which starts at 31, let's copy and paste that. So at 31, that isn't a cloud. That Sorry, I say it isn't a cloud. Even though there are clouds there, what it means is that it's not a single cloud. It's not like a single, 32 pixel wide sprite. It's a repeating pattern. So we want all of these clouds and the mountain to repeat. So we're saying that no, that's not a cloud. Now I'm going to add another line right there, another slice, which is 112, and that is our foreground layer. So we're going to go foreground layer. It's true. It's not a cloud. And let's see what that looks like in game. Oh, do feel free to drop a message in chat um, if you got any questions or if I'm moving too fast, anything like that. Okay. Well, we've got a few problems there that we need to fix. It's looking a little bit better. We've got only one moon, and our spikes are in the foreground. Our spikes look a bit weird, so we'll look at that next. So let's go into our map. Oh no, not the map. The map is fine. It's our parallax image. And here, let's have a look. Huh. No, okay, sorry. I thought there was a problem that I needed to fix with the palette, but that's fine. That's as we expect. Um, it's not using. It's not. It doesn't have the background color set, and that's because um, the background color is always in the background, even if we've got a foreground sprite. Because sprites are only three colors, and so these three colors. Oh, actually, no, that is the problem. That is the problem. It's because I haven't got a color set there. So that was indeed my mistake. So let's so I will need to get a background color. Uh, yeah, I forgot. Something I forgot about, and it's maybe a little bit of a quirk with Scorpion is if you've got transparent here, it doesn't set the parallax. So this one here would become the background color, and I think that's why it didn't quite look as I'd expected. Well, so we need a color. I'm just going to run with. I'm going to use that dark blue to fill in the background, and we'll give that another try. See if that looks any better. Oh, hi, Lenny. Welcome to the chat. All right, now that's looking. Yeah. So I did mess up those stalactites. Those are looking much better now. I think they may be just a bit too high though. I think we'll just move them down. Move them down a couple of tiles. Oh, sorry, I messed that up. It's because I've got the snap to grid on. I want to keep it horizontally about the same. Is that too far down? Um, let's move our palette down. Hopefully that's okay. I'll just run that in game. Okay, so they're not too high. I think that background color I've got isn't very. It doesn't quite suit. I think the previous version I had a shade of purple that I was using. Um, might have been that color I was using actually. I'll use that color as my background color for that part of the parallax. Hopefully that will look a little nicer maybe. Um, oh. uh, yeah, I guess it will have to do. It doesn't really matter too much. I guess we can, uh, when we do the upload. BitBeamCannon says the snowy blue is likely the best bet for the background color. Actually, yeah, let's might try that one. Incidentally, I'm on 99 followers. If you're watching and you're not a follower, then you could be my 100th follower. And yeah, that color does look much better. We've got a few obvious problems there still. So the moon looks a bit weird, being right at the left hand side. There's no movement in the background, and even worse, there's no movement on those foreground spikes, so that looks a bit weird. It looks like the spikes are moving with the camera, or we're riding on the spikes. So let's fix that up in our spreadsheet. So um, now these scroll left, scroll idle, and scroll right speeds, they can be a bit confusing, but they sort of mean what's the relative speed to the camera, depending if we're going left, idle, or right. We normally want left to be a negative value, idle to be left at 0, and then right to be a positive value. Sometimes we will want something set in idle, like if we've got a cloud layer that's always moving, then we can set a speed there, an idle speed. Um, but we'll keep this fairly simple. So because it because the background needs to move at a slower speed than the camera, I'm going to make it negative 0.5 and then 0.5. Whereas the spikes need to move faster than the camera, so I'm going to go negative 1.5 and 1.5. And let's see how that looks. Oh, no, I made a mistake there. It's a see, I told the moon to move. So I've got the moon moving, whereas the background um, stays still. So we can fix it quite easily. We just need to move that down a layer. Okay, we're starting to get there. That moon, we really want it closer to the middle. So I'm just going to put I'm going to say the initial cloud offset is 100. So that should mean 100 pixels from the left. So let's try that again. Okay, so that's starting to look a bit better. There's still an improvement we can do there with those clouds look a bit flat in uh, in respect to the mountain. So we need to make. We're gonna go for an effect sort of like in games like Shadow of the Beast, where you've got sort of multiple layers that are moving at different speeds, and so you get a little bit more perspective. So we need to create a bunch more layers. So let's go back to here and work out where our split should be. So one split should be there, so the mountain should stay at the same speed. I'll do a split about there. We can do as many splits as we want. We can have every single line as a different split and get like a real floor perspective, well, like a real fancy perspective effect. But then it basically, well, you know, the more slices you add, the slower it's going to go. So just having, you know, just a minimal amount. So just like we've got 4 here, that should be fine. So that mountain layer is going to be 82. And I think it's how many? Three above it, I think. Okay, so Mixels has asked a question about swapping out Parallax. So recently, with the most recent versions of Scorpion Engine, you can, in the middle of the level, you can pause the level and then load in a different background. So you could have, you know, like a day parallax, and then you switch to a night parallax, or you know, you could be in a cave. So you've got a cave parallax. You walk outside, and then you've got a sky parallax. Um, Mixel was asking if it's possible, instead of swap the entire parallax, just swap this one file at runtime. The answer is no. So, well, at the moment. So, I mean, you could do fundamentally the same thing by just having 2 copies of the parallax, and then of the parallax image, and then having different spreadsheets. But at the moment, there isn't a way to swap out just the parallax data. Just one thing I wanted to note is that this is another thing I've added recently that you can use to make, well, you could potentially use to make the parallax go at different speeds. Although this isn't well tested. In fact, I don't think anybody's tested this yet. Is we've got this level command called, is it no, be display command. Under display, we've got a command called parallax pointer, and so that's normally set as camera X. So what that means is that the parallax gets its position information from the camera. So when the camera is moving, the camera X is moving, the parallax is moving. You could replace that with something else at runtime. So you know, you could have it so that as the player moves along the level, then the say if you've got to shoot him up, and for most of the level that the parallax just follows the background quite nicely, but then you get to the boss, and the boss is you know, basically moving really fast, and so we need the parallax to move fast as well. But we don't want to have like a, you know, massive level that we're constantly scrolling across. So when we get to the end of the level, we stop scrolling the level, and then we just change that parallax pointer to a different variable, and then that variable we keep you know, increasing or decreasing it to make the speed go faster than it was, well, the parallax scroll speed go faster than it was if it was still just linked to the camera. So I hope that wasn't too convoluted. I probably should do a demo at some time about how we can change the parallax pointer at real time to have different speed parallax in the middle of a level. Anyway, so with our next cloud layer, I'm going to make it go like very slightly faster. And that would be -7. These are just values. I'm just stabbing the dark. You could probably get a much better effect than I will get if you if you tweak it, or maybe use some trigonometry to work out how to make it look like it's a sort of like a 3D background. Work out the right speed to make each slice scroll at. But I won't bother with that. It's just going to keep it very, very simple. Okay, and the top one is 47. Oops. I should copy that as well. Actually, I should, while I'm on stream, I should do a demonstration of how we can make it so that we can change the parallax speed at runtime. Because I think my explanation wasn't very good. So actually showing how we can do it would probably be better. Oh, I know what mistake I made there. It's I accidentally set that. Oh, no, what did I do? Did I not? Oh, so there was one more layer that I needed. So that's 33. Okay, so I missed. Hopefully that's going to look okay. I might need to slow down some of those scroll speeds. Yeah, so that works. So you see, you've got the clouds because they're increasingly close to the player. Then the mountain ranges, they're moving slightly faster, and so we've got a bit better perspective. Um, Again, it's not you could probably tweak the values to get a more aesthetically pleasing scroll, but yeah, just for the purposes of the demo, I think that's just fine. But right now, I'm going to demonstrate how we can change the parallax speed at runtime. So I'm going to make a variable called myParallax, and I am going to go to display, and then parallax pointer. I'm going to set that to myParallax. Now, if I run that now, it should like not scroll at all, just absolutely zero scrolling. Yep. So that's what I expected. And let's make it so that hope this is going to work. If it doesn't, I might need to do some hackery to get it to go. But I'm going to go if control 1 fire equals and then fire. Down. No, hit. Button hit. So what that means is if so this should only run on the one frame when I've actually hit the button. It shouldn't repeatedly do it. I'll need to add another view. I'm going to go parallax multiplier because we need to multiply our parallax speed. And I'm just going to make it that, well, every time we do that, every time we push fire, we're going to increase our let's go my parallax multiplier plus 1. No, parallax, I need to set that. Okay, so we're saying set our parallax multiplier to parallax multiplier plus 1, so we're just increasing it every time we push fire. But also we need to say, well, our actual my parallax is equal to the camera x times parallax multiplier. So let's try that again. Okay, so it's not moving at all if I push fire. Yep, so if I push fire, then it's moving it at the regular speed. If I push fire again, then you see it's moving faster. In fact, I can basically just, it does have a limit with how fast it can go, but yeah, as you can see, I can control the speed of the parallax in in relation to everything else. I'll make one change there so that the parallax multiplier is 1 by default. So by default, it does the normal speed, and then if we keep pushing fire, then it will keep making it faster up until the limit. Okay. Well, there's only really a couple more things I wanted to show. What the original demo had that this doesn't have yet is it had kind of a fake far background and kind of a fake close foreground. So, and this is probably not going to be that aesthetically pleasing, but just to show the concept of how we can do how we can fake multiple layers without needing. Well, we're still using our two sprites and no fancy code blocks tricks or anything like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have another copy of the mountains, but the far copy of the mountains is going to be mirrored so that it looks, it looks a little bit different to the mountains in front of it. And then the next thing I'm going to do this generate parallax from 32 wide again, but this time I'm going to go the scroller offset at 0 because I don't want this mountain. Well, I want the far mountain to basically be, so far away you don't even notice it moving compared to the closer mountain range. It's not exactly a perfect effect, but you'll get the idea, and you probably should be able to do a much better effect than what I'm doing here. I'm going to call this one sprite BG far parallax. And this is where I need to do some Paint Shop Pro hackery again. Hopefully it's not going to be too time intensive. But I need to... actually, let's close all of these. So we've got our far parallax. A BitBeamCannon says creating the illusion of additional playfields layers by hand editing the parallax strip image. Yes, that is the concept here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer here. Okay, I'm going to need to delete some of those background colors. Definitely. Oh, good. Supposed to be background. So let's okay, sorry, this shouldn't take too long. I'm just going to unselect some yep, and then I will delete those. Just check. Oh, yeah, okay. So deleted those, and then so because I set the scroll offset at 0, you notice each of these frames, like that moon is exactly in the middle. It hasn't wrapped it around. Whereas in my original image, because I had the scroll offset at 1, you see every frame it moves it over by 1 pixel. So yeah, so if you set it as 0 like I did here, then nothing moves. It's just a complete, every frame is a complete copy of the previous one. Now I just need to grab that and cut that out. And I'm going to put that on the background layer. So let's go. Oh, actually, did I Yeah, okay, so yeah, I did copy, cut from the right place. Let's paste that as a new selection, and I'm just going to move that over so that it's exactly behind the last one. Okay, so I'll save that here. And hopefully that doesn't look terrible. What we're expecting to see is we're going to have a far mountain range that's so far away it never moves, and then the closer mountain range which does move. And yeah, that's exactly what we've got. So you can see that there we've got 2 mountain ranges overlapping. We you could probably do something where you've got the background moving as well. Like if instead of having a 32 wide mountain background, if you had a 16 wide one, and then you were moving that at half speed or something. I don't know, but that's the general concept of how you can do multiple layers of parallax in the background. But we want to do the same thing for the foreground as well, and that is going to be a bit harder to do. Well, let's grab our... Which one am I going to use? 15. No, I'll use that one as well. And I'm just going to... what am I going to do? Oops. Just that. Okay. Well, I'll move that. I think I moved. Yeah, I'll move it down a fair bit. Yeah, I guess there will do. And then I'm gonna make this. I'm only gonna make this one 16 wide because we want our far foreground to move twice as fast as the as the main foreground. So I'm going to make this 16 wide. Wait, is that? Oh, no, I messed that up. That should be 16. Let's call this Sprite BG foreground. And then we'll so we'll do things a little bit different. We want to say parallax from 16 wide. And then we're going to say 2 because we want that to move twice as fast. And I'll take dot parallax out of it. Okay, so let's see how that looks. I'll need to edit our foreground. Okay, at a glance, that looks okay. Let's just grab all of that. Ah, I should actually snap to grid. Yeah, I should do snap to grid. And then let's paste that on top of everything else. Actually, that probably should go down quite a lot lower. Maybe about there. Well, I hope that's going to look okay. I guess there's only one way to find out. So we've got a foreground layer there that has a movement speed of 2, and then because that should be scrolling twice as fast, that has an effective scroll speed of 4. And we'll just see what it looks like. Again, it's maybe not very efficient, but well, not very aesthetically pleasing, but it's just a sort of a demo of the things that we can do. And yeah, so you see we've got 2 layers in the background, we've got 2 layers in the foreground. It looks like I've got a spam bot, so I better deal with that right now. Okay, so this account was created in 2017, so it's kind of amazing how these spam bots are playing the long game. They make these accounts years ago and then use them for a single single message band. So I'll go ban, I'll go block, and I will go report. Oh, Gmixel. Looks like oh, what happened here? Oh, it's because I got to the end of the demo and then it end of the level. But yeah. Well, Mixel says it looks great. And thank you very much, BitBeamCannon. So all of this art was originally by BitBeamCannon. So I do hope Mike forgives me for the hackery I've done to create, these sort of really rough, fake, multiple foreground, multiple background layers. And what stuff? So I've been streaming for about an hour and 10. That's about all I wanted to do on this. A BitBeamCannon just clarified. So Corey from BitBeamCannon made the tile art, so that's the actual level, and Mike made the art that I'm using in the Parallax. Although Corey made the ice stalagmite too, it seems. But yeah, so basically all the art in here is made by BitBeamCannon. Thank you very much, the Amiga Show. So, some stage in the next, well, when I release the next version of Scorpion, which should be hopefully maybe this weekend, I guess we'll see. But when that's out, this demo will be, available to to play around with. Obviously, it's BitBeamCannon's art, so you can't use it in anything, but you can at least sort of have a poke around with what I've done to, see how it all works. Unless anyone had something specifically they wanted to see, I was thinking about showing off something that surfaced recently called the CONK engine, or just CONK, I think. Oh, and I have my 100th follower. Thank you very much. I'm going to pronounce this completely wrong. Emomp. All right, anyway, well, I will put on CONK then. So what CONK is? This was another game creation engine. This was advertised some years ago. Let me just find the just got to find the link so I can show the web page. But yeah, so CONK is a game engine that was under development about 20 years ago, sort of at the very end of the Amiga life cycle, well, the Amiga's commercial life cycle. And it was never released. It was shown off in magazines. It looked pretty promising, but yeah, the Kiwi Game Devs account tweeted about it. Um, I had absolutely no idea about it until till just the other. Yeah, I had no idea about it until just the other day when that Kiwi Game Devs account tweeted about it, and so you can see well, there it's got like it seems to have Anim 5 support. It seems to have demos with quite nice graphics. You can download it, and then it has that demo called Ponk Blast, and it has a few other demos. Not all of them are actually listed here, but I'll play a few of them. So let's just get set up with. I'm going to do a fake CD32 configuration. Oh, hi, Reva Bay. Welcome to the chat. Oh, okay. So it was pronounced Amonp. I will keep that in mind. Anyway, so I'm just going to do a really quick got to get WinUI set up just to open that one folder and the shell. So let's go ponk/ponk blast.game. So this is the big game that comes with it. So 42 degrees south. I think that's a reference to how far south New Zealand is, because this is also a game engine made in New Zealand, but obviously this one actually came was actually under development during the end of the Amiga's heyday. So it has this really nice sort of like Anim 5 demo. Incidentally, Scorpion supports Anim 5, but nobody ever really uses it, so it's not really that well tested or supported. And yeah, you can see, there's lots of things going on the screen. I am emulating a AGA Amiga, but even so, there's a lot on screen. There's a lot of those tiny shots. I suspect I might need to dig into it a bit. I suspect the projectiles probably aren't done with the blitter. They might be just like a CPU copy. Because something that small, you could probably just draw it straight to the screen without bothering to, use the blitter or set up the blitter. And so it may be configured so that these projectiles can be rendered at the same time as all of the things that are being blittered. So I think it's quite a different philosophy to Scorpion. You see, it seems to be very, very centered towards action games, and very optimized for a lot of things going on the screen at once. All of these projectile effects. I would definitely love to implement some sort of like a particle system. Maybe I should see if I can just port this game as is to Scorpion. But yeah, so that's the big one, and you can already see it's quite an impressive engine. The whole thing is coded in ASM, but it's not just coded in ASM, but the ASM is available. So if you want to, it's in the zip file. So if you want to poke around with it. So that was one of the games. So there's a different game called Spambo, and I think that's actually maybe even a little bit more impressive than the game I was playing. You see, it's sort of this kind of like Commando, but with cannon fodder sort of graphics. But you get into it, and then there's all of these bombs. There's all of these, like there's the turrets there. Everything blows up, like big explosions. You've got a lot of guys running at you at once, and they all, there are all these lovely explosion effects. I'm not sure, how much of that is how many of these effects are hard coded in the engine versus if it's done in whatever the scripting language is or however you script in it. And yeah, there's just so much, all these explosive sheep running away from me. It's kind of amazing that this just wasn't released back in the day. I guess it just wasn't quite functional or bug free enough. But it is a very impressive engine, and I would say it's it's definitely faster than Scorpion. It would be probably the fastest game making engine out there for Amiga. Veggie is this this one's a bit more basic, but it's still quite cool. So just sort of a asteroids clone. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's not sort of although the amount of things sort of going around on screen at once, that is pretty cool. All the projectiles and all the bananas, all nice and smooth. Seems to be 50 frames a second, not skipping a beat. What was that? Oh, Dave was a platformer, so I can do platformers too. It's not a there's not really that much you can do in it. It's probably not as impressive as some of those other demos, but it's still quite cool. And yeah, it's a bit weird. You pick up these vials, and it spawns another version of Dave. Oh, I haven't seen this before. Wow, that's okay. So that was pretty broken at the end there. I suppose maybe that's why they didn't finish it. Is it was just too many unfinished. Well, the reason why they didn't release it maybe is there's just too many of these unfinished bits. But yeah, I mean that that minecart section that was quite impressive. I guess you could do that on Scorpion because we've got the the slope system. I haven't really seen anyone doing that yet. Well, I haven't really seen anyone make sort of like a cart type system. There's probably no reason why you couldn't do it. And yeah, there were a couple more demos for CONK and CONK. Now Mixel says, "Watch this space." I would not be surprised if Mixel was the first person to add a minecart level to creeping me out. Oh yeah, so sorry, this was one I've forgotten about. Conk demo / camel game. So this is it's mutant camels. Which it's just this one's probably a little bit less actually feature complete than the others. I thought it was infinite scrolling for a bit, which I thought would be pretty impressive. It's not actually not. It is a limited level with a handful of camels you've got to shoot through. What else? I think there was one or two other games here that whoops. There might have been one or two other games that I just couldn't get working. Just gonna try the Zappo. Might need to do it in a sign or two. Oh no, this is one I haven't seen before. Yeah. Yeah, this is well, this one was a cool one. I should have I didn't know about this one. I should have posted that one to EAB, but yeah, you see it's got a lot of different enemy types, different enemy behaviors. A very simple and short game, but um yeah, that one is actually is it's quite impressive. Um Mixel mentioned the reality engine, which is that was another um, game development engine that was being developed in the 90s. It the performance, I don't think it was the worst performance I've seen from a game engine. It didn't seem to be anything special, um, but as I understood it, it was being developed in modules. So it wasn't like something like Scorpion or Backbone, where you're just given one engine and then you do you make your game with it. What you would get different modules for making different kinds of games. So there was a module that sort of for making games that were like clones of the Dizzy game, so you could make sort of a Dizzy game with it, or there was I think there's a module for like making shooters or like Defender, so you can make Defender type games. Um, yeah. Mixel says reality promised so much was totally inflexible. I it's like a bunch of different um, shoot 'em up construction kits taped together. Um, yeah, I never really used it myself. Um, I played some games that were made with reality, and I was actually reasonably impressed with what I saw. Though, it did seem a little cookie cutter. Um, that's something I've tried to avoid with Scorpion. I've tried to make it flexible enough that you could create pretty much any kind of game you want. It's not quite there yet, but it's always getting a little bit closer. And with the scripting language, I've tried to make it flexible enough so that if there's something that just isn't part of the native feature set, like climbing ladders or ducking under things, then these are things that you can script in one way or the other. I think this zombie game was. Mixer says, I got my parents to complain to the magazine because they had lied so much about its usefulness. Oh no. Um, I think I might have actually talked to one of the guys who was working on it on Twitter, and I think it was just they had big plans for it, but for whatever reason, like maybe they ran out of time, or maybe they got cold feet about the Amiga scene. It just they just didn't get around to making all of the modules that they hoped to make. So there's this one called Zombie. This is one I couldn't get to work, but I think it was just I need to do um, some assigns maybe. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this one is actually an AGA game. So I thought I had it set as AGA. I do have it set as AGA. Okay, so I got AGA. Maybe it's a bug. I don't have any fast RAM equipped, so I'm going to equip a bunch of fast RAM. So let's do conk. Oh, sorry, ponk. Ponk is the name of the executable, I think. Um, hello, Sunny Fox. Welcome to the chat, and thank you for the follow. And also Joseph D. Bill, thank you for the follow. Yes, I don't know why this is telling me it requires an AGA computer. No, do I need to run set patch or something? I don't think I've got set patch in the. I guess it doesn't matter. Actually, there was one more game that I haven't showed that I was able to get running, which was this Dodge game. So if we go CONK demo Dodge game. So it's a so the engine does have its limits. You could see, there's some quite severe frame drop, but honestly, with that many things on screen, you would have to forgive it. That time, it didn't seem to spawn as many rocks at the same time, so it seemed to be a bit smoother. Just honestly, I'm really impressed with how much this engine can just throw on screen and have it, have it smooth enough. Well, I was planning to stream for another half an hour or so. If no one's got anything else they wanted to see, I might play some DuckStroma for a bit. So, what DuckStroma is it's a recently released Scorpion Engine game. It's basically and it's got a custom splash screen. So it recently released Scorpion game. I think it's sort of donationware, but there are plans for a boxed commercial release some stage in the future, which I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping he does a CD32 disc release. That would be really cool, because I don't actually have an Amiga with a floppy drive. My I've got my CD32, but I don't have a floppy drive for that. I wonder how he's done his password system. Yeah, quite a nice title screen. You see, it uses the Parallax system, so it's not just a static image. There's a fair bit going on. The duck is sort of waddling around. DuckStroma was very specifically designed around Amiga 500 constraints. Actually, let me know if you can hear the music. I've got it on mute here, but I don't know if that affects the sound that comes out on stream. I'll turn that up a bit. Just let me know if you can hear it or not. Alright, still loading. Okay, there should be some music. BitBeamCannon is confirmed. We can hear it. So, yeah. So this game is designed around the traits of the Amiga 500 specifically. A lot of Scorpion games are sort of designed so that you need AGA, or you need AGA and a couple of megs of fast RAM, but this one is designed to run at 50 frames a second on basically any Amiga. And it's also, I believe it's also out, or there's versions available for the ZX Spectrum, the NES, and the MSX. Those are all using different game making tools. Okay, let's see if I can that bunny. What's the best way to go here? I guess I launch myself up here. And yeah, very quirky platformer, very original. I can't say I've seen a platform game before where you lay eggs and then use those eggs as a platforming bomb. Might need to launch myself. Oh dear. Yeah, this is unashamedly old school. It's very much like, you know, Jet Set Willy or Monty on the Run, one-hit kills. I suspect I'll probably be able to get, well, if I spend enough time on it, I'll probably be able to beat the game, but yeah, I'm definitely not the best when it comes to these old school platformers. I could never beat Jet Set Willy or even get anywhere close to the end of Jet Set Willy. Okay, so we've got one of the discs. I can't remember how many there are we have to get. There's also an element of like puzzle solving. There's there's switches and things to push. So there's a switch there. I have no idea what it does, but I'll get to it. I also believe this is the first Scorpion game to be released. Well, the first original Scorpion game to be fully complete. Oops, I think that was the second time in a row I did that. Yeah, I'll just have to keep moving. I don't know if I need to hit that switch again or not. I don't think I do. Hopefully. Alright, so we've got a blue key there. So that's not the key for at the start, I think. I think that needs like a green key or something. I'm not actually sure where to use that one. I haven't been that far in the game. But yeah, so the first original Scorpion game to be completed. I think the first Scorpion game in general of any kind to be completed was the Green Beret port that they got second place in the Amiga Game Jam. Okay, I've got another disc. Oh, that was close. Okay, whoa. No, that was a mistake. What do I do here? Okay, so I've got two different, two mines moving at different speeds. I think the mines, they might be like drones, I guess. Let's bounce off that guy. Oh yeah, there's another, oh, forgot the bunnies take 2 hits. And, so the movement pattern's a bit random. It makes it, you have to be on your toes when you're facing them. Okay, so we've got a crusher there. I don't think I've been this far before. This might be as far as I've ever gotten. That bubble doesn't look good. Just need to time my jumps. Oh. Okay, so we've got a green key there. I think that's what we need. Whoops. Timed that badly. Okay, so I'm on my last life. I think a multiplayer version of this might be quite cool. There weren't that many. I mean, there were a few. I think Amiga Twins was like one of the main ones, but there weren't that many scrolling platformer games that had a multiplayer. You could do it in Scorpion, but you couldn't do like split screen. Oh, okay, we've got a button there. I didn't know we had ice in the game, so that at least some of the times that's quite slippery, or seemed to be slippery. Might have just been imagining it. Okay, so that opened the door to that key, and that key is the one that opens the one at the start. Can I Oh, okay. Looks like I can't destroy that. I have to be careful with that duck. Sorry, not the duck, the rabbit. Oh. Oh, yeah. So there is. Okay, so that block there is a slippery one. The ones covered with snow are not slippery, but the ones that are clearly ice are slippery, and that makes it a bit trickier in those sections. I think that thing there is a save. Yeah. So when I walk on it, the duck lights up, so that must be like a save point. Looks like I don't have the key for that one anyway. I'll just keep moving. Nice. This is just such a well-made, well-made, well-designed, very shamelessly old-school platform game. I think it's much better than, there was that Amiga port of Jet Set Willy, but they scaled. They scaled everything up and they made it scrolling, and it just didn't work very well. Okay. Well, I've got a disc from there. I can't remember how many discs it was. Was it 7 discs I have to find? Oh, this is... Oh! Shoot. That was close. Ah, no. Game over. Well, I might have one or two more attempts to see if I can get to the second level. But do let me know if there's anything else you want me to put up here. I'm not sure how many levels there are in the game. There's at least 2. There might be 3. I mean, as you can see, they're quite big, sprawling levels. Oh, okay, it says I need 8 discs delivered to me. They're in my cousin's old underground lab. Okay, so there must be 8 discs for me to find. I think I might have explored maybe 2/3, 75% of the level approximately. So the author of this this port, Ultra Narwhal, he's been working on a few other games. There's one of them that I think he's expecting to get out in about a year or so. I don't really know anything about it yet. It's called, well, don't know much about it yet. It's called BitBeamCannon, I believe, or something along those lines. But he's also working on a semi-port of that was embarrassing. Might cheat a bit and use save states. Maybe if I fail this time, I'm going to cheat and use save states. But yeah, he's working on a port of Abby Des Morts. Which was a very short platform, but a very well regarded one by Loco Melito. That was the developer of Abby Des Morts, which it was quite a short game. It was something he made fairly quickly, but it was very well received and has been ported to a bunch of platforms. Ultra Narwhal's version is going to be quite different, partly because Scorpion doesn't support 8x8 tiles, so he needs to work around that. But I think also he's going to make a few, maybe different levels, sort of make it as, make it a bit different, but keep the the core of the game intact. This bit I needed to be careful about. Just trying to work out where. Okay, so that mine was there. Maybe I should should go above the mine. It's probably smarter than trying to sneak underneath it. Oh, that's very close though. Oh no. Actually, I better check. I wonder if dying there meant I need to hit that switch again. Honestly, don't know. In fact, I'm going to make a save state so I can go and check that out without taking any more risk. I know I shouldn't use save states, but oh well. I'm going to go back to that switch and see if I need to trigger it again. I think it's already triggered. Oh. I'll mess that up. Bit careless. It's definitely one of those kind of games that punishes you if you if you're a little bit careless. You've got to be paying attention all of the time. Definitely the bunnies sort of having like random walk behavior adds another dimension to it. Okay, so I didn't. So that. Alright, okay, so that one was already pushed. I didn't need to re-push it. So I'm just going to load the game where it was. So I can get that key. Maybe that. I think that switch might have just prevented me from picking up that key before. But I've got it. Oh. I am going to cheat like hell to get through this. I think maybe the next time I play I'll try to get through it without cheating, but I'll... I'm sure someone's going to write a trainer for it anyway. Crack it and make a trainer. Timing that badly. There we go. I'm going to save it there just in case I mess up that jump again. Nope. It's okay that time. Hi Mark, welcome to the chat. Okay, it's Okay, I think last time I went over the top. I'm gonna go along the bottom this time. Oh, actually no, I should looks like there's only one way to go anyway. So I'm gonna go over the top to get that disc so I don't actually no, I'll leave the disc where it is. So I need to come back this way anyway because there's a disc near the start that I need. I think it's the green key. I need that to get it. That bit looks pretty hard. I'll just save that. Okay, so that bit's locked, and I think it's just there's a switch just down, just down the bottom there. Oh yeah, so there we go. Okay, so yep, so the switch has a yellow on it if it's or an orange on it if it hasn't been switched yet. So I have to remember that. I'm going to save it. Probably not a good place to save it because there's a killer rabbit right there, but I'm just... There we go. Alright. Okay, so we got the second of 3 keys. Save it right there. I've only got 2 discs. Apparently, left to go. Mark asks, that looks great, Hirok. How would it run on a real Amiga? So far as I know, it's designed to run on an Amiga 500 with just sort of standard 1 meg RAM. It's not a game that pushes things. It doesn't push the Amiga heavily, and it uses quite a few tricks. So, for example, if we turn off sprites, you see there's basically nothing moving on screen. So it uses it uses what I call auto sprites, which is you know, if there's less than 8 sprite channels being used, it uses sprites. Otherwise, if all the sprites are used up, it will just blit it as a bob. But because of all these tricks, and because he's also kept it, you know, fairly lightweight, like it's only, I think it's only 16 colors, it will basically run, you know, just perfect 50 frames a second on any Amiga. Oh, messed that up. How long ago did I do my save state? Yeah, I should save it next time I get to that jump. Oh, exact same mistake. I'm definitely a lot clumsier when I'm using save states, because I'm just not I'm not paying as much attention as I should be. Okay, let's see if I can get over there, and then there, and then it slides. Nice slidey effect. I really like the slide effect. I wonder how. I wonder how he's actually done that. I think it changes. Like when I walk on that, it changes it to a different player actor that has different, like acceleration. Might be how he's done it. Okay, so there's a disc behind there, but I don't have that key. Okay, so I need to come back to that. Let's make a save state. I think this is one of the levels like, you know, in the original Halo where you go through the whole level once, and then later you go through it backwards. I think this is, well, I know I've been cheating. I think this is officially as far as I've ever gotten. That bit looks a bit tricky. I wonder if there's any cheats for extra lives, or maybe I should ask Ultra now. Anyway, oh no, actually, I think I did get to this bit before. I do remember this bit, but I must have died around here. Might have been on one of those mines. So that looks pretty tricky. Very, very much like platforming. Well, like certain sections in Jet Set Willy. Whoop. Okay. Oh, okay. So we've got another lightning. Oh, yeah. I definitely don't remember going. Don't remember going outside. That's something new. I'm gonna get over there. There's a checkpoint up there. Oh, oh. Is that I was wondering if that waterfall was deadly at all. It's not. But yeah, it's put a great deal of work into these. You know, like that little section there, the vats. You know, those animated tiles. Has done a good job of you know, making the individual sections look you know, they look like they're actual rooms rather than just sort of like you know, random bits of level. Yeah, it's that. Should be able to get up there. I can just. Okay, so there's a disc in there. Oh! Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Oh, that's quite a way back. Yeah, okay, because the checkpoint was up there. I could have gotten it, but I didn't bother. But it doesn't really matter. I guess I'm sort of cheating anyway, so oh no, I could. Okay, no, I wasn't. Oh no, I could have gotten up that way just by using an egg bomb to activate the checkpoint. If I was playing it through without cheating, I'll go out of my way and get to that checkpoint. Looks like that might be a safer way to get around this bit anyway. Mark says totally looks like a AAA Amiga game from back in the day. Yeah, I mean, I think I'll come back there. Well, I mean, the Scorpion community has definitely made me proud with high quality releases like this. Oh, okay, so that's where all the keys are. So I've got every key. So now I just need to get the discs. I think there are 8 of them to get. I know where 2 of them are. Well, there's this one, and there's 2 of them near the start of the level I need to get. So, whoops. Oh, I messed that up pretty badly. Need to time it a bit better. There we go. Now, can I get through there? I can. Okay. So that's all I need to do to open a locked door is just run into it. Okay, so let's we'll be able to get up there. Actually, I don't think could someone put the itch.io link for DuckStroma in the chat? Just if anyone wants to have a look at the page. Now those ghosts are pretty menacing. It looks like it looks like they've got some randomness in the. Oh, they've got some randomness in their movement. How far back do I have to go? Oh, not too far, but still. So yeah, I don't know if I can jump on those ghosts. I suppose I probably should try it. See if I die. So it's nearly at the 2-hour mark. Thanks, Mixel. I think I'm sort of maybe 2/3 of the way through the level. I know I need to get 8, and I know where two of them are on the path back. Let's see if I can actually attack these ghosts. Oh, I can. Oh, and they're... Okay, so I can attack them, and they're only a 1-hit kill, so that's good. Just need to time my jumps right. Oh, but they come back. Now that's clever. I wonder how he made them come back like that. He must have had some sort of timer that makes it so that after they die, they respawn it. Ah, God, I'm doing terribly. I think even if I had like the Konami code with 30 lives, I would be pretty close to game over already. Okay, so that's where that one stops, so I just need to jump over it. Okay, so... Oh, there's a skull. That actually reminds me of some of the skulls in Creeping Me Out. Hey! Ah, it's going to be a tricky one to get out. I should save when I get to about that bit. There's not much room to jump in that bit. Maybe I should try and be a bit smarter about it. Oh, yeah, okay, so the skull doesn't... I can jump on the skull or over the skull. So how am I going to do this bit? Oh, I know exactly how I was supposed to do this bit. Because I'm supposed to follow the fire and then jump up there. Now, can I fall through that? I can. Okay, so that's good. I can just fall through there. Okay, so that's I guess that's a sort of example of the kind of thinking you need to do. So it's quite neat that you know, there's a bit of a puzzle element to it. Oh, another life. Well, I will grab that. Let's cheat again. You know what? I'm gonna try I am going to try training it. So this might be interesting for you know, people sort of interested in hackery, but so yeah, what I can do is instead of using save states, I can make it so I put in lives. My memory is a bit rusty about WinUE's cheat commands, but I'll start with yes, I'm going to train it on 2. So it found 8,035 possible places in memory where the lives are. So let's go down and let's die. And let's do that again. So let's look for C. Oh, we're looking for C1 this time. We're not looking for C2. Okay, so we've only found 3 places in memory, so it has to be one of those 3. And I'll just die again, so I should have 0 lives. And let's go C0. Okay, so that is the address of that's the address of the lives. I'm going to reload my save state. So 2 lives again. And let's go. The command to freeze memory is a little bit tricky, but let's try it. If I go, what is it? W0, then the memory address, which is that. Then 1, because I want 1 byte, and then F. Then watch breakpoints enabled. Watch freeze. Okay, now let's try that. Let's see if see what happens if I die. Look at that. Okay, so I have I've written a very, very rough and crude trainer for DuckStroma. It's not it's not something that I can easily put into like a trainer floppy disk, and also because of how memory is allocated, it might not be the same address next time I start the game. But at the moment, I was able to freeze that address, so if I die again, then I'm not going to lose any lives. And that sort of principle can be applied to almost every game. If there's a game you're stuck on and you just want infinite lives and you didn't have a trainer and you're playing it in WinUE, you should be able to follow that exact same process to what am I freeze the memory? Let me have a look. Okay, so I do need to... Oh! Hang on. I can probably launch from here. Yeah, okay, so that's the way to do it. So you're supposed to launch from the bottom there. So there should only be one more disc for me to find. There should be a disc somewhere up here, and then I can turn around and start going back the other way. Oh, keep messing that up. Oh, yikes. Hey! Fair way to go back. Anyone who completes this game legitimately without without trainers or save states, definitely be proud of yourself. Ah, messed that up. I'm supposed to launch from there. Okay, let's be a bit careful with that. Okay, so this was the part I died last time. I think I just sort of didn't expect, well, I wasn't really paying attention to where it stops and turns around. Okay, oh well. Okay, well that's the end. I don't have 8 discs. I know where 2 of them are, so I can go back and grab those 2, but I must have missed one. Oh. Okay, so next time I play this, I'll know that I need to, as soon as I get that key at the start, I should go and grab the disc. In fact, I should, I should get whatever discs I can, rather than going to the end and then coming back, because, but I still don't know where that other disc is. With those 2 that I know where they are, that still only leaves me with 7. It'll be a little bit too hard to cheat it to make it, at this point it'll be a little bit too hard to cheat it to make it give me all the discs. Okay, this bit might be a bit of a pain. If I can maybe kill these ghosts, but then, oh! Oh, man. Okay, I think I'll, yeah, I just want to get, might use some saves, might start using save states again just for those really tricky bits. So I don't think you're really meant to come back this way. I think when you're, when you get up to here, you're supposed to have had all the discs. So, you weren't supposed to go back. And I think maybe that's why it's, actually harder going back than it was coming out this way. Let's save state. Okay, just need to time that. Okay, that's better. Let's jump over there. Let's see if I can get to the oh, didn't know there were spikes there. That must be why you're not supposed to go, or why you're supposed to go the longer, harder way. Okay, so I wonder where that other... hopefully I'll find those last 3 discs. I only know where 2 of them are, but we'll just explore as we go back. Save it here again. Yeah, definitely lesson learned. I think should always make sure to go back and get, as soon as I'm able to backtrack and get a disc, I should do it rather than pressing on to the end, just in case. Oh, okay, no, that was it. That was okay. So that was the one I forgot about. So. Back further, there's hopefully it won't take me too long to get through it. I know there was one that I avoided because I was coming back that way anyway. I think I might suggest 2 things to Ultra Narwhal for the commercial release. One is make an infinite lives mode, because it is, you know, even with infinite lives, it's still pretty hard because you do need to you know, backtrack quite far, and there are some quite tricky sections. Oh, like that. Yeah, I won't bother loading the save state because you know, I don't need to get that disc again. So I got 7 discs. The other one which might be quite interesting, is a 0 lives mode. So like some quite hard games like you know, VVV have do have some quite well, they do, yeah. They do have a mode where you have to get through the entire game without dying once, and so that's sort of reserved for you know, people that are really, really good. Not paying attention. Not that far from getting through this level. I just need to get that one last disc and then go back through this section. Yeah, I should just make more save states. far do I have to go back? Whoops. No idea what that meant, but hopefully that's hasn't broken my trainer. Probably should make a new save state on every screen, because I guess I am getting a bit tired, so I'm constantly making mistakes. But I really want to get to the end of the first act so I can get the password for the second act, and I guess on a future stream I could have a go at the second act. Was just extremely careless. You know, I guess if I was playing it, if I'd played it properly, I'm not sure if I would have. Oh no, this bit I would have needed to come back through. I don't know if those bubbles will kill me or not. Maybe I should just try touching one. Okay, I'll make a save state here. Getting to this bit. Exploding egg is such a cool mechanic, and yeah, just like completely original. Okay, so I should save it right here. And then it's the trek all the way back to the ending. Okay, 8 discs. To go back. Oh, that actually that was actually a shortcut, because yeah, it was a shortcut because I've still got my disc, but it brought me back to an early bit of level. Maybe I should have. That would have been intelligent of me if I had just skipped all of those save points. Then went back and got the disc and then died, so that would have taken me all the way to the end again. But oh well. Never mind. Might have to keep that trick in mind for future if I need to do something like that. I remember that bit being quite hard. Better, I can't even remember how I did this bit. Okay, save point. Crusher. I should definitely save state it before I make another silly mistake. Oh. Ah. I think this is the outside. Yep, okay, so I'm pretty close to the end. I'll make a save state here. Should time that a bit better. Oh. Save state it there. Should have just didn't need to load my save point. I didn't need to load my save state because the checkpoint was actually closer. Pressure over the tank. Let's see if I can get up. Ah. No, that was never going to work. I will save state it right there. And then we are nearly done. Insert discs, okay. Well, looks like I made it to the end of the act. I better take a screenshot of the... Oh. Now for dinner, crispy duck. Oh, that's not very nice. Ah, poor duck. Oops, wrong switch. That's the time warp. Okay, yeah, so that explains the second act, because from what little I know about the second act is, oh, okay, let's add a, alright, it goes through 1 6. From what little I know about the second act is it's in, medieval times. I don't know if the second act is the last one, or if, there's other acts, but, yeah, that did take me a decently long time to get through. I think that took me about an hour to get through with that one level with cheats. So what lies ahead for Aura? Looks like a sleepless night. Oh, I might just have a quick look at the medieval level, and then I will call it quits for the night. I hope you've all enjoyed stream. Yeah. Oh, this is very cool. I really like the atmosphere and the now that the duck has a helmet. Oh, looks like that's a gate for the bridge. Yep, excellent. In fact, I'll save. I'll make a save point here so I can just come back to it if I play this on stream next time. Looks like we've got a castle to explore. I wonder if it's 8 discs again. If it's 8 discs on every. Oh, nice. And this one has moving platforms. Oh. Okay, well that will definitely do for the night. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for chatting and for if you've followed me. Thanks for following me today. I will have a look at. I traditionally raid Amiga Live because they're pretty much streaming all of the time. But this time I'm not. I'm gonna raid. I am gonna raid Sega Master Tim. So I believe he's an Australian that, as you can imagine, really likes Sega Master System games. But I think he's an Australian. I have to apologise if I got that wrong. But I'll start the raid now, and yeah, I hope to see you all next time.